Hello all, welcome to Ambari Cloud YouTube channel, and today I will be presenting Snowflake External Volume connect to S3. Why we need that, and what is the uses, and what is the context I'm talking about here. So I'm going to walk through the setup. To integrate files with the Snowflake with your S3 account, and our goal is mostly, we want to build Iceberg tables, both object integration Iceberg table, or the Snowflake catalog Iceberg table, or Polaris Iceberg table, and we will be walking through those in upcoming videos. So here I'm going to walk through how to set up an external volume. Okay. So before we set up external volume, we need to discuss about what is IAM policy and how you set up, and what are the roles, how we integrate IAM, assign IAM policies to a role, and then we're going to describe how to integrate, how to create a Snowflake external volume, basically, which is integrating a Snowflake to your S3 account. So that's what mostly we will be discussing about. Okay. So in order to do that, we need to, part of our process of different videos, particularly when you create Iceberg table, we need to create a warehouse. You can also create warehouse through GUI in Snowflake. Then we're going to create a role, and we're going to create a database, and then a schema, and then of course we're going to grant those warehouse the schema and database to a role, and then we're going to walk through everything through. Okay, so what is an external volume? Okay, Snowflake account, it's running on your AWS, and then it has its own S3, own storage. Then you have your own S3 storage. So that means you have a Snowflake account and you have a AWS account which has S3 access. Now, those are, different accounts, and we need to integrate your Snowflake account to your AWS S3. So in order to do that, basically we need to attach your S3, your AWS account S3 to Snowflake. So we're gonna attach it through an external volume. It is like, you're attaching an external drive to your laptop. Okay. So in order to do that, you're gonna create an IAM policy. So this IAM policy information, Snowflake provides what are the objects you need to have access list and get list and all that stuff from your volume, right, or your bucket. Then you're going to create a role. Because as a user, as an individual or through an external volume, you are not accessing a policy. You need a role, and then you're going to create a role. Then in using that role ARN, you're going to create an external volume in Snowflake. And you're going to create an external volume. Then once you create an external volume, then Snowflake assigns a IAM user ID and IAM external ID, right? And then you're going to attach that external ID back to IAM role, so that with that, then basically you have an S3 bucket is attached to your Snowflake. So you're going to create an IAM policy, and you're going to create a IAM role, attach that policy. Then you're going to create an external volume in your Snowflake, and you're going to describe it. Then you're going to get an external ID, an external user, and you update your role. With that, then the connection between your Snowflake and your S3 bucket will be completed. Okay. Now, and let's look at, okay, now quickly. I'm going to open that directory here. So this document provides, your step-by-step what we are talking about, right? Just FYI. Okay. So when you create the access control of your S3 bucket, this basically IAM policy. These are the information we needed, right? And so you need to delete, and then get list, and put objects and all the stuff part of your S3 bucket. Then when you create this IAM policy, then we're going to attach to a role. Okay, now let's get into your S3. So here, when you go to IAM, when you click on IAM, or you can search on IAM here, then you will see policies and roles. Click on policy, right? So, a lot of policies available, created through by AWS guys, and also you can have your own policies. So for example, I created a Snowflake access policy, right? So basically what you do is you go to there, then you create a policy, click on policy, and then, you're gonna, you can create a JSON here, click on JSON, and then you copy the JSON information when you get it from here. Basically, I just copied here. This is JSON information you copy from here, and simply you replace everything, and then, so you're gonna create a next, and then, give a policy name, you're done, right? So going back here one more time, go to IAM, right? And policies, create a new policy, and cannot roll, sorry. So create a policies, right? Create a policy, and then, select the JSON, right? Then copy from Snowflake website, and then click next, give some name and description, then come back here, create a policy. So in this context, I already created a policy. So, and I'm going to call Snowflake access policy. Then I'm going to go to here and click on edit, right? Now you see now only thing is when you copy from Snowflake website, okay? So here, when you copy this one, you click at this one, they put a my bucket, and then you come here, then you put your bucket name. So now most important thing is, you need to have a delete and get list and all the things. And then when you learn this Snowflake, AWS IAM policies and IAM roles, this information can be used in many places. This knowledge, very important knowledge. You can use in Palantir, you can use in Snowflake, you can use in Polaris catalog. Once we come back to the Polaris catalog videos, I will walk through again. But yeah, this knowledge is essential when you do, or when you do with Cloudera, right? Iceberg access. So the very important. This is most important knowledge you should possess when you are learning in Iceberg or in data engineering. So then learn about how to set up a policy, how to set up a role. Okay. Once you're done, create and then what we need to do is, right, as I said, right, so we need to go to Snowflake. Let's go to Snowflake. I'm going to log into Snowflake account, my Snowflake account. So you can sign up a 30-day Snowflake account. Okay. Sorry. So this is my, my Snowflake account right now. It's my paid account. And so as I said, right, as an admin, we created a warehouse, we created a role, we created a database, we created a schema, then I granted to the role, right? Then we'll come here. So here, what I will be doing is, as an admin, account admin, I'm creating an external volume. Okay. So create or replace external volume. You can give any name you want, and you can have any number of external volumes, right? And then you give some, metadata name. Then who is the provider, because you can create an external volume in your AWS, Azure, your base location, right? Then your role number, the role ARN, they call role ARN. So let's go back to your AWS. Now let's go to roles. So here, you create, different roles for your organization. You have a read role, write role, glue role, Polaris role, different, based on, right? So same thing here, you create a role, right? Then here we're going to create a AWS account role, right? Very important. So basically a role which is kind of associating between a Snowflake and AWS, right? So we're going to create, it's not a service, AWS service role, internal. This is a kind of an external. Then this is your account number. And since we are connecting your AWS to an external Snowflake, right? You need to provide an external ID. So right now you just provide some 000, right? You can provide some name value. Then, since we are not using MFA authentication here, but ignore that. So here, come back, create a role, AWS account, right? And then select, of course, this is your account, right? And then your external ID, right? And then click next, right? Then, you have a permission policy is already created, right? Snowflake access policy, you select, then click next, right? Then give some name, my role, right? Okay. Now here, remember this one. This is where, the information we are waiting on. We will show that one. So right now, external ID is here, and then, we will talk about the principal. Right now, it is using the some default value, right? Then you just create, right? So then your role is ready. Let me show, right, the role I created here. Let's go to my external. What is my Ambari SF role? Okay, it's clear. I have a lot of roles if you look at here. Ambari SF role, right? Then, look at this role has Ambari. Then this is the ARN number, right? Or ARN value. And then policy. And then if you look at then there is a permission. Then we need to look at the trusted relation. Remember I said, right? When it created some dummy name, dummy value, and then an external ID also we put 000. We need to modify these two values so that your Snowflake account integrated with your AWS account. That means AWS S3 account through role. So we created a role, but we don't have these values yet. This value and ST external ID value. So what we're going to do is, so keep this one open. Then you go to your Snowflake. You create your external volume. Right? Look at this one. This is my external volume name. Then my provider S3 or ADLS or GCP. And this is my S3 bucket base location. And this is ARN value. So where is ARN value here? This is a role, my ARN value. You take this ARN value, right? You copy it here. Then you execute it and compile. Once you successfully compile, then you describe. Let's go to describe. Okay. Now, once you describe here, right, then you will see the information about your external volume. Now, let's copy this external volume and just paste it here. Now, you will see here, right, your storage role external volume here. And then you will see AWS IAM user ARN, right? And then you will also see, okay, one more here. Okay, external ID, IAM user ARN. So you take this value, IAM user ARN, go back to your role, and you put here with the AWS equal to, right? You put the value. So coming back again, when you describe your external volume, then you will get IAM user ARN, take this value, put it back. Go back here, update here. Then now you see the external ID, come back here, then you will see the external ID. Okay. Once you create an external volume, this value will not change after you first time, right? Once you compile, and you always have the same value. But any small change or every time when you compile, this external ID value changes. Okay, if you make some changes and all that stuff. So make sure as a best practice, this external ID and IAM user ARN value need to come here and add it here, then save. Okay, so right now let's put it here, edit, then you will come in edit mode, then you change this value, then it comes here. So once you complete these steps, okay, so first you create an IAM policy, you create a role, And role, basically a trusted role, right? Let's go back to one more time. One most important, when you create a role, right? Create a new role, then you're always using AWS account role, right? Then you need external ID, then create it, attach the policy, get the ARN value, create your external volume. Look at here, create your external volume, and then describe it. Then you got the storage IAM user ARN, then external ID, come back to your role. Okay. Now let's go back to your role. Okay, Ambari SF role, right? Then come here, trusted relationship, because we are trusting relationship between two accounts. Edit policy, then change the AWS principal and change the external ID and save it. Then once you compile your external volume, grant that external volume to the role, because we don't want to run all our create tables or the whole create storage integrations and everything done through another role, but don't use admin role. Admin role is mostly to create external volumes and then set up all the stuff. Then once you do, then give an access to the another user role, and then you can create. So this is how you build your trust between Snowflake and your S3 account via the external volume. And external volume are essential not only for your storage integration, which if you want to read in external files, and somebody put in external files in S3 bucket, your bucket, and you want to read it through Snowflake. You want to create an external table. Then you need a storage integration. But storage integration through external volume, right? And you can have multiple volumes. You can have multiple buckets, right? N number of external, think about it, you have n number of external drives to your laptop or your computer. Then we will be using this external volume to creating an Iceberg table, Snowflake catalog Iceberg table, or Polaris catalog Iceberg tables, and various things. We will look at it in upcoming videos. Okay. So coming back, one more. So we'll create a policy, go to the JSON tab, select the identity IAM, create policy, create some name, then select the JSON tab and give all these values, right? Then create a role, select another account, right? So one more I want to clarify here, IAM, and click on the roles. Then you want to create a new role, then trust AWS, then select another account, then give some, some name on some values, right? If you look at here, okay, another AWS account, and then in the account field, enter your account ID, right? Generally it's the same thing, right? But it's best practice. Okay, account ID is same as this account, both are same, right? Then you need to modify the trusted relationship, and then of course require external ID, and then you set up the external ID here from the Snowflake when you describe the external volume, and then for now just put 000 before you get the actual value from the Snowflake while you're creating the role. And so in a later setup, you modify the trust relationship for your IAM role and specify the external ID for your external volume. Okay, then click next, and then right, so make sure that you are giving access to Snowflake policy, right? Then give some name here. Okay, then you come back to your Snowflake and create an external volume, give some name, right? If you look at here, my external volume name and then name they are different, it can be. Then give your bucket name, give your ARN. Then after that, grant it to the role, and then you need to describe. Then once you describe, you will get IAM user ARN value. Then you can get external ID, take those two values, and then update your AWS here, and then update your external ID. Once you're done, you update your trust, select the update trust policy, then things will be changed. After that, you're going to create in this schema, right, in this database, this user creating an Iceberg table, and then, we're going to use the Snowflake catalog. So where do you want to create this Iceberg table? So this Iceberg table is not creating in the Snowflake account storage. It is creating on your storage. So here all you need to do is just give your external volume. So basically it is connecting to your disk, which is our S3 bucket. Then it's going to create a table called S3, and then a base location S3. That means if you look at here, so this is your bucket, right? Underneath you will create a directory called S3 or whatever table directory you define. And this is how you're gonna create your Iceberg tables. Or you can also create an external table, which some files are already landed on your directory. And but our focus mostly on Iceberg table. So this is how you're gonna create it. Any questions, reach out to me, and subscribe my channel. Then also look at LinkedIn. I will be writing a lot of blogs on Iceberg, Polaris, Ice Houses, various Polaris, Glue, Nessie, Dreamio, all kind of combinations. How to migrate between these tools, and how you're going to integrate these tools, and how to convert from Hive to Iceberg. All those things, look at in my channel. And if you let me know any questions, send me an email or send me a text. Okay. Thank you all. Bye now.